Moving the WBC to July in 2029. Good or bad idea? That's what we're talking about today. Team USA manager Mark DeRosa was recently quoted in the LA Times saying he thinks the WBC will eventually be moved to the middle of the summer. It goes along with earlier comments from USA Today's Bob Nightingale, where he said that MLB was considering just that. Haven't heard anything from MLB, nothing from Manfred, but the idea is obviously being floated. And of course, 2029 will be 1 year after the Los Angeles Olympic Games. Baseball is included in the Olympics. We're not yet sure if Major League players will be participating, but it seems to be leaning toward that. In that same LA Times article, it says that baseball will not want to be left behind, as NBA players take the floor in Olympic basketball, and NFL players will be there for flag football's Olympic debut. Is there really going to be excitement for NFL players playing flag football? Serious question, that's hard for me to imagine. Anyway, if MLB players do take part in the Olympics, it shouldn't be too hard to work into the usual summer schedule. There will be 6 teams in the Olympics, playing a total of 12 games over a period of 6 days. So they'll need 6 days plus a little time to get ready for it. They can start the season a little earlier, but still in the late part of March. End the season a little later, but the World Series can still wrap up in the first part of November. Nothing too unusual about the start or end dates of the season. And probably cancel the All-Star game. A lot of the same players selected for the All-Star team would also be selected for their national team, and having them play in both would just be kind of weird. WBC though, the way it's presently done, you've got 40 games of pool play, then a 7-game knockout stage. 47 games total, played over a 2-week period. They need a longer break than what the Olympics would require. So the month of July would pretty much belong to the WBC. Which does have its good points. It's the middle of the season, so players are in mid-season form, meaning they can provide better quality of play, put on a better show. The weather's warm everywhere, so they can hold games at Wrigley, Fenway, Yankee Stadium, anywhere. With the current WBC starting in early March, those places are too cold. And for the US market, this would be great timing. It's long after the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup are over and done, long before the NFL season kicks off. July belongs to MLB already. Mid-season, regular season games are nice. The All-Star Game's a lot of fun. But there's no major event, nothing sports fans can really get excited about. The WBC could be that major event, just once every 4 years. The other 2 or 3 years, depending on if baseball's in the Olympics or not, the schedule can return to the usual laid-back regular season games in July, with the All-Star break. But can they really squeeze the WBC into the middle of the summer? And let's say the answer to that is yes. If they can, does that mean they should? The great thing about having the WBC in March is that it doesn't really interrupt anything. From the time the Caribbean Series ends in the beginning of February till opening day at the end of March or start of April, there is no major professional baseball going on anywhere in the world. March belongs to the WBC. February is an entire month dedicated to getting ready for the WBC. They have time to prepare, get the players together, practice, figure out what's going to work, have the players get used to each other. That's especially important for pitchers and catchers. If you have it in July, they'll have to get ready in a hurry, so maybe it would not be higher quality baseball, even though the players are in mid-season form. That makes me think that it should stay in March where it is now. They announced the rosters in early February. That gives teams a month to get ready, no rushing it. If they do decide to move the WBC to July, I think they'll try to shrink the field. Fewer teams, fewer games, and try to get it done in a hurry. And we don't want that. If anything, we want a bigger tournament, not a smaller one. Also, I think they would then have the whole WBC in one location. I know other World Cups do it that way, but I've always liked the way they bring the WBC to different cities around the world for every edition. If they tried doing that for a July WBC, they could have a player flying from New York to Tokyo right after finishing up a series, then playing in Tokyo shortly after arriving, then right after 4 games in 5 days in Tokyo, back stateside to finish up the tournament, then resume the regular season schedule, and it's not going to work. Of course, all that doesn't matter. If MLB thinks they can make more money by moving it to July, they'll do it. But I don't think it's in MLB's best interest as a business either. If they hand over July to the WBC, they'll be giving up one of the best months for regular season attendance, and they'd have to move more games to March, the worst time for attendance. One possible compromise would be to have pool play in March, narrow it down to 8 teams, then play the knockout stage in July. That would fit right into the schedule. All they'd need is 3 days. If you just replace the All-Star break with that, they wouldn't have to make much adjustment to the schedule at all. MLB off Monday to Friday, WBC quarterfinals on Tuesday, semis on Wednesday, championship on Thursday, back to the regular season schedule on Saturday. Me, I'd rather they just play the whole tournament once, but splitting it up like this could work. That's just MLB though. Remember that the other professional leagues of the world would have to fly their players out for the event. A 3-day WBC round in July won't fit so nicely into their schedules. You want to schedule the WBC at a time that can work for everyone. So you want to make sure that MPB, KBO, CPBL, LMB, and other leagues are on board with any major schedule change. And if you ask them, I'm sure they'll say keep it in March. It's so much easier that way. Focus on the WBC in February and March, then the regular season from April to October. Don't have one interrupt the other. So, do I want to see the WBC move to July? Nah. Do I think MLB will do it? No. Do I think it would be interesting? Yeah. But that's just what I think. Let us know what you think down in the comments. That's all for this one, and until next time, this is Baseball International. See ya.